Okay, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, we got some things going on in the background, so y'all will just have to pardon me. And we're also going to be playing a young man. His name is Marlon Clark. I don't know Marlon Clark, never heard of Marlon Clark before today. But when I went to his site, I was only trying to check out a particular video that talked about an SD card. Then I decided to look at some of the comments. For some reason, I looked at the comments. I don't normally look at comments because I could care less about comments. But Mr. Marlon Clark was trying to explain to people about his desktop. So instead of people offering a suggestion, instead of people offering a solution, they complain. And so I sat up there and offered him suggestions and a solution to his problem. Even though he did the video 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I figured, hey, it could only help. This is Mr. Clark. It turns out he can sing. I mean, sang, S-A-N-G. It turns out he can sing. And because the young man can sing, I'm going to feature him on this video today. So if you haven't heard of Mr. Clark, what I'm going to ask that you do is go and take a listen to Mr. Clark. Alright, but we're gonna play his videos in the background. Let's we're gonna take his video to the full screen while I go ahead and talk. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is gonna be about the SatPaks. But as I mentioned about him, I told him about ZDsoft. I even provided a copy of the serial code and the email so that he can download the program if he wants to do videos again. The software will even let him make videos such as this that he's doing now. But I also told him about Filmora. I didn't tell him about all the other ones out there that will allow him to do his videos, but you can definitely tell that he produces and does his own videos, and I think it's not a bad investment for the young man. Alright, let's move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the issue is this. A lot of people are wondering, what do the SatPaks do? You know, why should I get a SatPak? Well, here's the thing. The SatPak programs have all stopped until, I think the next one begins in June. And there's the Q-Pak. Q-Paks are not SatPaks. SatPaks are their own beast. The Q-Pak, it's its own beast. They don't do the same thing, so you are advised to go to the site and read up on what they do. We had people complaining, well, nobody's gotten back with me, nobody's giving me no updates as to what's going on or anything. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been giving updates after update after update on the website. See, when you go to the website, because that's what we told people in the welcome letter, that we would provide such information on our website. So let's go to our website. There we go. On our website, we don't want this page. This is the workers. See, they're working hard all the time, and they're just satisfied workers. Alright, we're gonna go to the homes. No, we're gonna go to the program screen, because that's our programs. So we're gonna go to the program screen. And once we get to the program screen, you see that said March 9th, 2019. This says March 21st, 2019. What has been the addition added to this section right here? Well, those who have read it will find, sorry, it ain't letting me scroll down. Okay, there it is. There was a delay. The addition has been added as the price of the Q-Pak. Everybody's been wondering, well, how much is it gonna cost? How much is it gonna? We told people that we would get that to them. There was a board meeting with the SATCOM members, and the one thing they were concerned about is making it affordable. But then they were also concerned about the value of that SatPak, because that, and I said SatPak, and I'm sorry, the value of that Q-Pak. Why? The unique thing about that Q-Pak is it's different from all the others, because it actually is designed to accomplish a particular feat within society, whereas the other SatPaks were nothing but securities. We'll explain the securities part of them in a moment, okay? Now, Remember, this offer for the SatPak Plus begins March 31st. Okay, this one begins March 31st. We are working to bring all of these things together for everybody, but you are going to have to be patient. I'm going to explain exactly. I didn't want to minimize that. I'm sorry. I want to get back to this because it paused because he's over. Now, what I want to do, this is the young man here, but I want to click on not those. I want to click on his videos. The reason why I want to click on his videos because I saw two of his videos. This one right here. This is the second one I saw. This is the first one I listened to. So I'm going to play this one because you all will be familiar with this particular video. And by the way, the last one it just played was Say You, Say Me. That was the melody in the background. Lionel Richie, Say You, Say Me. Anyway, I want you to pay attention to this young man, this song that is familiar with all of you all. You've heard this song before because it's a remake. And I'm going to let Mr. Marlon Clark play in the background while we talk about the SatPaks. Before we talk about the Q-Pak and its value, let's talk about the SatPak and the SatPak members. What the SatPaks were designed to do, ladies and gentlemen, is you were to purchase a SatPak and it was going to accomplish two things. The first thing was, it was an affidavit attesting that you are the owner of the certificate of live birth, and that according to the law in Minnesota, and we're talking about the principle of the law in Minnesota under court rule, because it's a court rule, it's a general principle among the courts. So because it's a general principle of law, that's what we are focused on, is the principle. The principle was that an individual who attained the age of 18 was to affix an affidavit to their birth certificate and file it with the county recorder. Now that law says that they have to attach their title to that. Well, as we told people, your birth certificate has an APN. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to tell you to do this. This is your choice. Attach your title to your birth certificate. What title do I attach to the birth certificate? You create your own stupid title. I'm sorry. You create your own title. Title is the property. An estate is property. Okay. We kept telling people at SATCOM we can't tell you what the law is and how to understand the law. It's not because we don't want to be bound. It's because if we tell you that this is what the law is and then they don't let you do what the law says, then you're going to come back to SATCOM talking about, well, what do I do now? What do I do now? What do I do now? You're not paying us enough to walk you through every single step. Okay? So now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to listen. This is Mr. Clark, Mr. Marlon Clark. And all I can tell you is that the young man is not bad. In my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Go visit his channel, Marlon Clark, C-L-A-R-K-E. Okay? He has his own YouTube channel. And take a listen for yourself. Now, I want you to pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, so that you understand, because a lot of people were arguing with me about Minnesota court rule, about we were reading it wrong. Okay, so watch this. An extensive area of land in the country, usually with a large house owned by one person, family, or organization. So an estate is land, people. Your birth certificate is evidence of an estate. Pay attention. All the money and property owned by a person, especially at death. All the money and property owned by a person, hold on 1 second, y'all. This is Ed.
Beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me.
Okay, so this is Marlon doing the cover of Mr. Ed Sheeran. I don't know this guy. I know he did a couple of songs and he highlighted the fact that he wasn't all man and that he was, you know, and a bunch of other things that everybody was falling over him. Made a couple of songs that I thought was very good, but apparently they wanted to focus on his sexual preferences and choices and whatever. Oh, he wrote that song to a man. Who cares? All right, let's continue. A class or order regarding a forming part of a body politic. An estate is part of a body politic, so like the United States. Pay attention. The United... Come on now. It ain't letting me highlight, y'all. Because I'm just trying to highlight the state part. That right there. The United States. But I didn't say it. They said it. One of the three groups constituting Parliament. Now the Lord's spiritual, the head of the church. The Lord's temporal, the peerage, and the commons. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, these are three estates. They make up the government. Please understand. That's why it's called an infant estate. Alright, so hold on. Let me show you something. In Britain, it's called the Lord's spiritual? Excuse me? No, they're not talking about the Lord Jehovah. They're not talking about that Lord. No, no, no. They're talking about the lords of the God that they serve. Okay? That's why it's the heads of the church. What church? The Church of England? No, it can't be the Church of England. England is not a church country, is it? Of course it is. No, it ain't. England is supposed to be a democracy, but it's a monarchy and it's a parliamentary. Oh God, they so mixed up and backwards. No wonder they need three estates. Okay, the lords of the temporal. Excuse me? Temporal? Like those temporal agents? No, not that type of temporal. The Templars. You know them people, them Knights Templars? Yeah, that's what they're talking about. No, I don't think they're talking about that. I think they're talking about Templar as in time. Okay, and the commons. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just so that you understand an estate is land. It's called an infant estate for a reason. I didn't call it an infant estate. Let's do this. We're here. We're in definitions. Watch this. I didn't call it an infant estate. I didn't make up this term. You've seen the courts. We showed you all the case law where it says the estate of an infant. The estate of an infant. Okay? It says that the infant may own property the same as an adult. They call it the infant estate. I did not call it an infant estate. Now, what they have done is they don't like what I did. This is Bing. One more. Like I said, he's our featured artist today. The Infants Estates Act. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. I don't know what... This is Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not know about this until just now. But let's pay attention. Appoint a parent of the infant as sole guardian of the estate of the infant, or with the consent of the parents or of one of the parents, the mother. If the other parent is not competent to give consent, the infant father appoint some suitable person to be guardian the state of the estate of an infant. Now, hold on 1 second. Sorry. I didn't think Mr. Clark would do that. but it almost sounded like there was a curse word, and so I had to go back and make sure of that because, ooh, but no, I gotta apologize. He did not curse, okay? He did not curse. All right. We don't care about infant. We don't care about the term. Now, see, they call it a term. An infant, one born at a gestational age of 37 or 48, blah, blah, 42 and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the term infant, or term infant, one born anyway. Decedent law. Decedent law and legal definition. A decedent is a person who has died, sometimes referred to as deceased. But where are you? Somebody said infant. Oh, the reason why they pulled up this is because of estate, but I highlighted infant and estate. Instructions, infant, estate, and birth certificate. There's some idiot did some video on YouTube about that. When he do that 2016, yeah, look at that. Look how he spells infant and estate. You know something got to be wrong with that fool. Talking about the new affidavit, the infant, estate, birth certificate update, the new affidavit, and recording, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, nobody else is talking about the infant estate but the courts. And in that affidavit, you all can take a look and see that the courts are constantly talking about the estate of an infant. Okay? You always talk about your grandparents' estate, your grandfather's estate, your grandmama's estate. Everybody else got an estate. So does the infant. And an estate references property. So why can't you do a certificate of ownership of your own estate and highlight the land being the person? Now, this is not what this video is for, ladies and gentlemen. This is not what this video is for. I'm just thinking out loud. For crying out loud. And so I'm thinking out loud. But let's get back to the SatPaks so that you guys will understand what they were designed for, because many of you are not going to understand that and you're not going to get it. So let's give it to you in a way to which you can understand, way that you can get it. The SatPaks were, we create a document. You sign it, you get a notary to seal it. We take it, we get a county recorder to seal it and record it on the record with your affidavit attesting that you've attained the age of majority. Now, what does that accomplish? Well, let's show you. Let's go back here. Minnesota Court Rule 220. Let's find out what Minnesota Court Rule 220 has to do with any of this. Because we are not talking about title to land. We're not talking about anything else. Want you to understand, we are talking about the memorialization. That's what we're talking about, memorialization, putting it up for remembrance, for everybody and their grandmama to know. Okay, because that's the whole purpose. The Register of Titles is authorized to receive for registration of memorials. Now it says upon an outstanding certificate of title, the official birth certificate pertaining to a registered owner of named in said certificate, birth certificate of title. It's not talking about the certificate of title. It is talking about this birth certificate. They say, no, it isn't. It's talking about this certificate. It's talking about both. Certificates of title. Remember, the birth certificate is called a certificate. It is a certificate of title. Title to property. Certificates are only that. It certifies that one is the owner of property. Don't trust me. Go and look up the word certificate. Let's do this. Title showing the date of birth of the registered owner of the land type property, providing there is attached to said birth certificate. This is all we're focused on. We don't care about the land property. We care about the process that requires the birth certificate to have attached to it an affidavit where the person say, in familiar facts being recited, that they're familiar with the facts being recited, stating the party named in said birth certificate is the party, is one of the owners named on the certificate of title for the land. We don't care about the land. and thereafter the register of titles shall treat the owner as having attained the age of majority at the 18th years after the date of birth shown on the certificate. Now I want you to pay attention, because a lot of people don't know how to read legalese. This certificate is identified by certificate of title. This certificate is identified by placing birth in front of it. This certificate is only identified by context. Okay, however, this certificate, pay attention, shown on said certificate. This certificate refers to the birth, not to anything else. Okay? So the process was for a party to take and affix to their birth certificate an affidavit. In order for you to be of the age of majority, you don't need to be a landowner. You're an infant. Well, apparently the persons, all of you out there who own land, you haven't done this. You haven't taken your birth certificate and attached it to your title. This is what we were doing for you. Did the video back in 2016 explaining this. Go back and listen. But you just didn't explain it straight to people. Yes, I did. But that's okay. That wasn't all we were doing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my other phone. And the same person who called, it's the same person, y'all, who called the last time I was doing a video, just interrupting us while we're doing videos. I'm just going to have to call you back, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.
No problem.
We'll talk. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. It was a SatCom matter because we're trying to make sure that all of your stuff is done. They don't normally work on the weekends, and that's the policy, but many of them have been working on the weekends. We have a skeleton crew who work at SatCom, and they're doing the best they can. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, you guys don't get it, do you? And that's the people who are writing us and wanting us to be on the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, we paid for the number. We've paid for that number for over a year. But the only problem is we are being opposed by government agencies left and right. They are really trying to slow us down. They can't stop us because we're not going to let that happen. But we're just asking for those of you who have put a little bit of faith in SatCom to have a little bit of faith that we're not going to leave you out to dry. This ain't that type of organization. As I said in one of the other videos, I'm not riding around in no Porsche, no Lamborghini. My car will be 20 years old at the end of this year. 20 years old. Okay, well, my car is only 5 years old, but I'm making payments. That's your problem. I'm trying to let you know that my car is 20 years old because, and I barely even drive it, people. I barely even drive it. As a matter of fact, I haven't even driven my car in the last 3 weeks. Okay? I don't have it like that. I'm not trying to have it like that. And none of the other members have it like that because nobody is taking any monies. We are monitoring every single dime, and we just told you guys PayPal has just frozen, held on to, because they think they can play games with us. I won't let anybody hurt SatCom, not including the people out there who want to try to come in and think that they're smarter. I will protect SatCom with every breath that I have. Why? Because I created the organization. I don't run the organization, but I created it, and I'm dang sure gonna sit here and make sure that organization does exactly what it set out to do. I don't care how much stress, how much sleepless nights, how many days I have to go. I will make sure it do what it have to do. Let's get back to your SatPaks, ladies and gentlemen, so that you understand. All we were doing was providing you the affidavit so that you could get it filled out, so that you can attach it to the record, so that the record could be documented, so that when you are finally recognized as having attained the age of majority, you can say, oh no, I had already notified y'all way back when, got it on the county record and everything. Y'all already knew about it and y'all delayed. What you mean they already knew about it and they delayed? Ladies and gentlemen, that's where, hold on, that's where this comes in at. So hold on now. No, I don't want to do shit. I didn't ask for him. I told y'all we gonna stick with Mr. Clark. So let's go back to his channel because there's one other video, and then I'll let it go to other people. Okay, but I'm gonna stick with Mr. Clark because that's the person I said I was gonna feature. Okay, YouTube decided to put him here. Well, it's trying to catch up. This is where I wanted to go because this is the video that I said I was gonna. Who are you? Sweet phone. No, you're gonna ignore my advanced system care. My advanced system care. I know that y'all don't like it, but we're gonna ignore. You're gonna leave my advanced system care alone. My advanced, ladies and gentlemen, advanced systems care is cleaning up all of this junk. Okay, it's doing that all in the background while I'm doing the video. So I'm gonna let my advanced systems care stay there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to. We're gonna play this video right here, and then we're gonna just let him just do the rest. Okay, but I think I will download his playlist today. But let's get back to the conversation that you all need to have as to what you received when you got the SatPak. This SatPak right here, let me tell you what the Q-Pak, not SatPak, Q-Pak does. Q-Pak is not a SatPak. SatPaks are securities that we are currently and going to back up all SatPaks with assets. Okay, the assets that are backing up the SatPaks constitute when you receive the payment. They constitute as income because you receive no cash on hand. You get to write it off, and when done appropriately, you get to declare a tax write-off which correlates to a refund. That's the first thing. Now, the cash that we are trying to acquire, they are interfering on so many other levels to try to prevent that. That's why we said we're backing it up with our own assets, because our SatPaks will pay out one way or the other. We don't need them to comply with everything. We will make sure that they are secure. Then we've also insured them. Ladies and gentlemen, the way the SatPaks work, and I want to be honest with you, at the end, when everything is said and done, oh, let's get rid of this. There's something else. I don't want that. Don't want that. I need this right here. I apologize. I wasn't trying to click on that. This is the one that I was supposed to be starting. That's why we've been having some problems with speed. And 28 items, it needs to optimize. See, there was a lot of stuff going on. And we're not going to do a toolbar cleaner because I don't want my toolbar clean. Okay? So leave my toolbars alone. That's for me, and to have all of my links and all of my my blockers. See, all of these, you ain't cleaning my toolbar because I got all of these pop-up blockers for a reason. I don't want to be seeing none of them YouTube ads, and I don't want to be seeing none of that junk that be popping up on these other websites. Let's get to the SatPak so that you guys will understand. Remember, these two SatPaks, the SatPak 1 and the SatPak 1X, the SatPak 2, and the SatPak, well, the SatPak 1, SatPak 1X, SatPak 2X, all were backed by funds. Okay? Because they were backed by funds, ladies and gentlemen, that means that at the end, the funds are contingent on the condition of the SatPak when you turn it in. You have to turn in the original SatPak because that's what has the value. So the persons turn in their SatPaks, and Depreciation is based on um, the condition that the SatPak is received in. What you do is you turn back the SatPak into us, then we take and we reimburse you for that SatPak plus in addition to the reimbursement, you get the remainder of the balance from what was announced and advertised on the website for each SatPak. So I believe the SatPackers who were in and they were grandfathered in, the SatPak ones, not the SatPak 1X, but the SatPak ones, $6,800. And it's 4 years from the November 15th, 2018. Here is the thing, ladies and gentlemen, so that everybody understands. I am really trying to push that date up a whole lot sooner than 4 years. Why? Because I believe it's possible. No matter what these other agencies are trying to do, I believe it's more than possible. But hold on, I'm going to show you why I believe it's possible in a moment. Then the other SatPackers, the ones who came in after, and these are guaranteed 6,800 for that, but the other SatPackers are 35 or 3,600. And we cut the program short because, ladies and gentlemen, you don't get it. It will turn out to be a whole lot more than that because the amount of persons in that SatPak is less than 700. And that's $1.5 million that gets divided into that group, as was mentioned on the website. That's what we're doing. That's why we are concerned about liquidity. That's why you even hear the little character Innocent talking about liquidity. That's what PayPal was doing. PayPal thought that that was all of our funds. And so that's why they're holding on to it, because that's PayPal's game. PayPal does that to a lot of companies that are getting started. Now, there are some companies out there that are really trying to get over on people, trying to take people's monies, trying to run away. And so, okay, fine, go after them. But no, what PayPal does to a lot of companies, especially like ours, is they'll let the funds accumulate and then they'll put the clamps on and hold on to the funds because most people don't do what we do. The very first thing is we understood this is what companies do. This is what banks do. It was already in the news for the last 3 years about the banks putting freezes on people's monies. PayPal is a bank. So what did we do? We made sure we divided up our funds so that it wasn't in just one account. So that if something like this happened, we had another avenue to protect ourselves. So PayPal hasn't hurt us. As a matter of fact, we're charging them interest per day, and as we showed you guys, we did a contract with PayPal. Oh, those poor intelligent creatures never responded back to us. They did send us back, I think they did one response that they were going to report they said it was a spam issue, that the email we sent them was spam, and they were going to report it to somebody. And I told them, by all means, go right ahead and report it. We just need to document the fact that you received it. So thank you for proving you received it. Y'all have a good day. Because I don't care about the other little tricks of some stupid attorney. See, the law only requires is that they have knowledge of the contract, that we have a relationship. I just spoke to you about our relationship. We have a $66,000 relationship. Okay, that's what the law requires. Are they required to answer our questions concerning our relationship and our $66,000 individual issues? Of course they are, i.e., unilateral contract. Like I told all of you, if the unilateral contract is said to be void, invalid, then that invalidates all of their unilateral contracts. See, you can't make one person's contract invalid and another person's valid. Can't make one person arbitration invalid and another person's valid. You don't get to do that. You don't get to hotpotch the system that way. No, they are stuck with their original decisions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to the SatPaks. We gave individuals the opportunity of having a 98 series number. Now that was included in a SatPak. What is a 98 series number? Well, let me give you a hypothetical. If I had a 98 series number, and I do, but if I had a 98 series numbers, and I do, if I had a 98, would you stop? Ladies and gentlemen, I have a 98 series number. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. I have a 98 series number. And what I did with my 98 series number is I started operating as a corporation through my 98 series number. I also have a CPN. What I did is I started operating using my CPN and my 98 series number representing the estate. Because that's what the law says I get to do. Guess what? The courts know. I haven't hid that from them. They know. It's all a matter of fact. It's not a matter of collusion. As a matter of fact, I love telling the courts. Oh no, right here. No, hold on. Get this on the record. This, look, it says California courts.gov.ca. See, California, and this is on their website. Now, let's go all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, right here. See, now let me read this part. A person can blah, 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 anytime. They just start doing it. I read to them the definition of changing names and utilizing that name and that identification from that point on. See, the problem is you're not hiding anything. That's the whole point. See, it's when you try to hide it, that's when it becomes an issue. That's when you are concealing. There is no concealment. You don't need to hide. You can operate right out in the open. Why? It's called hidden in plain sight. You don't need to hide in plain sight. You just need to be in plain sight. Using my other number that people refer to as a CPN, all I had to do was set it up the way it's supposed to be set up. Give it an identification. Give it a history. And so that's what was done. No, I can't tell everybody else how to do that, and that's why. Why? Because then there's liability. If SATCOM was to tell you how to do that and you went out there and did something wrong, or something you knew you shouldn't be doing, or something you didn't even know you shouldn't do, but you did it anyway, then they would say, you would say, oh no, right there on that website, see right there, here's the receipt. And see, you're not going to do that to us. That's why we made it quite clear that we're providing certain things as a courtesy, but we cannot tell you what to do with those courtesies. For all we know, you're going to take that and just put that on a mantle and leave it sitting right up there for everybody else to come and take a look at and say, oh, where'd you get that? That looks nice. How much is it worth? Nothing. Just up there to be as a mantle? Sentimental reasons? Okay. Okay. So, 98 series number, we told you guys most people are charging anywhere from $500 to $3,500 for a CPN. And the thing about it, yours came for free. And we even did the soft, pay attention to the word, soft registration of the number for you. Then we told people what was needed for it, and they balked because they couldn't understand. Well, why you guys need that? We can't tell you why we need it. We just need it in order for you to be able to use this. But if you don't want it, you don't have to give it. Then yours just won't work. I mean, literally, that's the way it was. Again, we couldn't tell people because that's too much liability. And y'all not going to do that for us because y'all not going to come visit us when we in jail. Y'all not going to send us no Christmas packages or nothing. So, we ain't doing that for y'all. I'm not kidding either. Most of you are okay with a person risking their life and going to jail because of you. But if it was you going to jail, you'd be, I ain't going to nobody's jail. No, what you want me to sign? Oh, okay, who you want me to tell on? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not one of those people who don't believe in snitching, who do believe in snitching. I don't care about snitching. You can snitch on me all you want. People been doing that to me all my life, including the people who claim they hate snitches. And if you ever been to jail, the biggest snitches are the pod runners, the people who run the pod. Okay, they snitch more than anybody else, but then we'll have somebody beat up for snitching. It's a wonderful world. There's more snitching going on in jail. There's more gossip going on in jail than any other place in society. Because they ain't got nothing better to do. It's either they're gambling, they're having sex, or sitting up there selling people for sex, or they're doing drugs. You just explained all of society. That's right, because jail is nothing but another portion of society. Everything that you can get outside, you can get inside. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Don't know why, but that's just the way it is. Okay, so that's the SatPaks, ladies and gentlemen. And the value of the SatPaks, and why the SatPaks have value, and why we had to suspend the SatPaks to preserve their value. Not because somebody was coming after us. Oh, they were hot on our tails and we just had to do something. No. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain to you. Some people, those who don't know because they thought the SatPaks were supposed to set them free, please go take a look at none of my videos ever said a SatPak was to set you free. We did say one person provided the SatPak and its language to a police officer, and the person was let go and had warrants. Okay, then we told another one where a person went to court and filed his SatPak and the case got dismissed. Ladies and gentlemen, they do that all the time. That's why it was said to all of you when we brought that information to your attention, we can't promise that this will be the same in your case. But some people are acting like this is what we promised. No, we told people that this is what happened. It isn't this is what happened and you need to spend this money to do that. No. Now, following that documents that you have attained the age of majority. And having attained the age of majority, when it comes time for getting your securities, you get to now get a penalty assessed because you brought it to their attention and they ignored it. Ladies and gentlemen, what society is not doing is they're not telling you how to become of the majority. Now, they've told you how to do it. Minnesota Court Rule 220. They told you how to become of the majority, but when you attempt to become that, they're blocking access. Do you all know that they can't do that? The law says that they can't do exactly what they are doing. It's illegal. So what must we do, everyone? Well, let me tell you. We created a document. Let's scroll up. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular SatPak, or excuse me, gotta stop doing that. This particular Q-Pak, so used to saying SatPak, this is a Q-Pak. It includes an arbitration agreement. That's what we were missing. That's what all of our contracts in the past were missing. All of our unilateral contracts we were sending out, they were all missing this. When we did the all U.S. corp stock, sending to all the government agencies, this is what it was missing. An arbitration clause, because the Supreme Court had not made the decision it just made. But had they not made that decision, and if we had done this before, then the decision would have been much different than what the one they just made. But look, this was a unanimous decision. The Supreme Court knew when they made this decision that stuff like what we're about to do was going to start to happen. They knew that. The Supreme Court is not stupid. They put out their fillers, they put out their research, and these other judges who were seeing this stuff contact them. So they know what's going on. They knew about SAA before they came to that conclusion January. It wasn't, what you call it, not the word mistake, but it wasn't a, I'm trying to think of the word for it, a coincidence. Okay? It wasn't a coincidence. Now, if you guys listen to Mr. Clark in the background, I want you to pay attention how he's been pretty mellow the whole time, and not one time did you want to say, oh, no, that song was weak. Ain't not a single one of them could you say that about the young man. So I'm gonna plug Mr. Clark, and again, his name is Marlon Clark, and if you go to his site, I say give him a listen to, give him a shout out, let him know that you heard about him through this channel, and I think that he'll appreciate it. Alright, like I said, I don't know the man. I don't owe the man anything. He doesn't owe me nothing. We've never seen each other, never knew each other before today. My first time hearing him. But I told you guys, just like Mrs. What was her name? Dang it, why can't I think of that young lady's name? Because I played her the other week and I told you how much I appreciated her voice. And I can't think of her. I know her. Is it Gross? No. I can't think of her last name. Dag nabbit, I am so sorry, young lady. Because her song was alright. But the thing that got me distracted was when after I listened to her, I listened to several other artists, and one girl was doing some very nice songs, but she was cursing and everything else, and I'm like, God, I can't stand that, especially coming out of a woman's mouth. You know, it just doesn't make any sense, so that's why I can't remember that young lady's name. And I know it's right on the tip of my tongue. I'm seeing it in front of me, but I cannot think of her name. And she has, the last name is simple, but I can't think of it. But let's get back to this Q-Pak. Ladies and gentlemen, the Q-Pak has the information that was included in the SatPaks in their POAs, but not all of the information. A lot of it was not necessary for this particular package. This particular package still, yes, it has the birth certificate attached to it, but it is not a SatPak. There is no backing it by funds. There is no converting it into a bond. You see, that's what we haven't told you. All of you who were asking about the QSIT number, you guys need to understand. The moment we started saying to people about gonna possibly get QSIT numbers for all of them, all of you started trying to get QSIT numbers from the company that gives out QSIT numbers. There's only one company that gives out QSIT numbers, and all of you started calling them. Do you know how bad you made things for us by doing that? So no, we're not going to tell you about that. We're not going to tell you how we're going to do it. We're still planning on doing what we're planning on doing, but we're not going to tell y'all when, how, or why. So those of you who are asking, what about the QSIT number? What about the QSIT? What about? We're not doing QSIT numbers. It's just that simple. You just need to understand. That's why you don't see it anywhere on our website anymore. Why? Because, watch this. Let's do... Now, hold on. We will then incorporate the security back into the United States, acquiring a QSIT number specific for that instrument. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do you see that right there? We receive it back from the county and process it through our organization, which is foreign based. We then incorporate it as security back into the United States, acquiring a QSIT number for the specific instrument, and then we will market them, whereby SATCOM will retain 15% of all accumulated value from the date of the initial service. The QSIT number is not for the client. This is for SATCOM. Okay? Which is why we could sit up there and back it with our own assets. But you know what we haven't done? We haven't done any of this yet. Why? Because everybody and their grandfather has been telling everybody where they're getting the information from, and so they put a whole lot of attention on SATCOM. SATCOM can handle it because SATCOM is not doing anything wrong and they're not violating any laws. Okay? If they were, then you would have people knocking on our doors. Our website would be shut down. People say, well, that's why your website was down, because they shut your website down. Ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee the only thing they've done is interfere with our website and not tell us they were interfering with our website with all the problems we were having, but they weren't shutting anything down. We were transferring from one company to the next because we were having so many problems with our email address. Let's go to the next one. Come on now. All right. However, opting out after QSIT number Uniform Commercial Code filing incorporation into the trust has been acquired, established, does not create an obligation on the part of SATCOM for securing the 15 value created security. However, the opting out, you will forego the 85%. There are a lot of people who want to opt out after the 14 days. Alright, now, got QSIP again. And we're not going to change it. Again, like I said, our group, we are going to continue to try to acquire the QSIP for our company, but as far as acquiring it for the other party, we don't know, because too many of you guys are really causing a lot of problems on everybody's end. Okay, it says how much value the SatPak will have is not something our staff is authorized to tell individuals at this time. What we can say is that once we do assign a QSIT number to the SatPak, the individual SatPak member will be required to return the SatPak that was sent to them in exchange for the security that was created. Once it has been returned, then we will ship their security information concerning its value, its QSIP group number. Pay attention, not individual number. Now, my hope, if we can get people to step off and stop interfering, trying to think that they can do what we're doing on their own, which is causing us a lot of problems, because the first thing they do is when they ask where you're getting this information, they will tell them our site, which is the thing that's been slowing us down. Well, you should stop telling people, but then the moment we stop telling people, they complain that we're not giving them any information, we're not updating them. Well then, I guess you just between that rock and a hard place. You DA if you do and you DA if you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly the point. So we're going to continue to be honest with you. Nothing has been stopped. They may have slowed us down in certain areas, but they haven't stopped us because we already acquired the purchases. Now, let me let you know, we just looked at another, which was it? It was a SATCOM matter, and it was a arbitration. That arbitration was for $10 million. You don't understand, do you, ladies and gentlemen, about the arbitration thing? Do you know that once the arbitrator comes to a conclusion, it doesn't need a judge to make the other party liable? You only need a judge for enforcement. So it's called confirmation. Ladies and gentlemen, this Q-Pak takes care of the confirmation part because the Q-Pak demands that it be had at equity. Do your research on equity before the Q-Pak starts so that you can understand why it's demanding that the confirmation only be had at equity. Yes, I'm saying it to everybody and their grandmama that the whole game is about to change. I cannot tell you that I have not created a better document than the Q-Pak, and I'm not doing that to boost some stupid little promotion or sell or anything. No. Ladies and gentlemen, I was so afraid of the ideas that was coming with that document that I sent it to 2 people and I told them make copies of this and put it in safe places. Send it to people, don't let me know who you're sending it to, just in case something happens and I don't get to finish this document. Well, it's finished and it's sent out to more than 12 people at this time for safekeeping. And then it will be sent to all of you at that time. Those of you, when you get it, take a look at it and then you can comment as to whether or not you've not seen anything like it. It's a trust agreement, okay? And it's a trust agreement according to what the law requires a trust agreement to be, not a trust agreement. See, let me explain to all of you, I didn't know how to write a trust agreement a year ago. I kept trying to figure out what's this big thing about trust? How do you put together a trust? I kept asking people, and people were just putting together some writings. I said, what makes this thing binding? What makes this thing legitimate? I paid one guy $1,000. I did. Okay, back in 2012 to do a trust for me. And guess what? Since 2012, I was highly upset because all they gave me was a piece of paper saying all these words that just didn't make any sense, and I'm sitting up here going like, what makes this thing binding? Well, that particular trust would not be binding any place, not here, not any place else. Well, what makes your trust binding? Oh, the thing that makes my trust binding is this, it's a trust and a contract combination. So it's a trust and a unilateral contract, and it's a contract with the US government. So it goes to the government. And when it goes to the government, they have 2 choices. They can respond or they cannot respond. If they respond, agreement. If they don't respond, agreement. That's the issue. And so now the contract has an arbitration clause. They default under any circumstances. We go to arbitration. But it has an arbitration clause. What else are you going to do just besides go to arbitration? Well, the fact is the value of the agreement is the value of the estate. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, the law required them to literally give you access to upwards of $2 million a year. That was the law. I didn't make the law up. That was their law. That was how else are you going to get the gold from every American? That was their gold repeal, people. That was their promise to take care of the public, the population, the people, the so-called commercial individuals. So, how much are the estate? How much is your estate worth? Well, mine is worth $1.8 billion. Oh, no, mine is worth 85 quadrillion dollars. Oh, mine is worth 148 quad billion dollars. There ain't no such thing. Yes, there is. I just made it up. Well, how much is that in reality? Oh, it's more than they got that they could ever produce in the next 85 billion years. That's how much it is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the problem. Many people are going to assess it how they choose. So the suggestion is you take and you multiply the $2 million times each year that you have not been given access to your estate. You don't triple that, you just multiply $2 million times each year. We don't want to do your income for each year because that's not income. That's stupidity that they call an economy. The economy has nothing to do with value. That's called market value. That ain't got nothing to do with the law. The Supreme Court said that in Butler versus Thompson. I think it was 1877. Okay, it says as a medium of exchange, the law knows no difference between the two. But as a matter of merchandise, that is to say, okay, so they let you know that when it comes to the market, that's a different game. That's not money. What you trade in the market and on the market, notice they're not trading money on the market. They're trading digits, decimal points. They're hypothecation. They are doing derivatives and hedge funds. They're doing that junk. Okay, that is completely 100% quadrididdly different. So, from the 18th birthday, you multiply it by 2. Why do you do it by 2 million? Why do you multiply each year by 2 million? Well, you do it by 2 million is because that's how much was being allocated to Congress. And that is the value of your estate. It's worth at least 10 million. Why? Because they're leveraging it. They're using the interest off the estate. The law does not prohibit them from doing that. They prohibit them from intermeddling with the estate of a minor. But it does not prohibit them from putting it in a bank account for you and then collecting the interest. Although, if it's me and they put it in a bank account and it's my estate, then I'm going to say that interest is due me because it was my property that generated that profit. Because that interest is a profit. And it goes from my 18th birthday till current. Because why? The law says that it is to start from my 18th birthday, my having attained the age of majority. So those funds are mine because I disaffirmed all the contracts made in my name and my estate's name prior to today's date. Some of you will get what I just said. Some of you will not because it was right over your head. So let's get back to the point so that you get it. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, because the law says that they are to retroactively consider you of the age of the majority, not age of majority, age of the majority. Since the law says that they are to retroactively go back to that date, then that's the point. Then that means since the law says that they have to construe it as you having attained the age of majority as of your 18th birthday, then you say I disaffirm all of those contracts, including those blind trusts that you done set up, claiming that you were doing that for me in my interest. I don't want to be a part of none of them trusts, so you don't have no more jurisdiction over me or my property. That's how you take care of them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, That is the Q-Pak. That's what the Q-Pak is designed to do. What's the out game for the Q-Pak? They can't respond to the Q-Pak. They won't respond to the Q-Pak, although the Q-Pak is completely respondable too. They can respond to the Q-Pak, but they won't, because the moment they respond, they validate all of this. They validate the existence of the infinite state. They validate your right to attain the age of majority, because they cannot deny it, because we wrote it in such a way that we only use their language, their laws, their court cases. That's what it does. So they will default. After they default, you will go to arbitration. Now, this Q-Pak has SAA administration, SAA, the arbitration administration, as the arbitration association handling the arbitrations for the Q-Pak. Okay? If you decide that you don't want SAA, just go in there and change it. Make your grandmama the arbitration association if you want. I don't know how far that's going to get you, but you go right ahead and do that. But the Q-Pak is what SAA is, the arbitration association. Originally, the cost of this pack, because of what the pack actually does, was going to be $1,080. Ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't do that to you because a lot of you can't afford that. Sorry, it's just the fact. But it's the work that's going on behind it, because the person still gets the 98 series number. What if I already got a 98 series number? Then you'll have two. And the person gets the UCC filing. Well, if I already got a UCC, then you'll have another one. Okay? And let's see. Triggering is supposed to be the right, is supposed to be the in here, right to the securities held in the minor account. So let's do this here. You are incorporated into the trust, and you'll see that in the Q-Pak. The financing one statement. Now, the incorporation into the trust, you all need to understand how important that is. TTOPP is the holding company for SATCOM, SITCOM, SAA. It's the holding company. That company is not there to make a profit off of anybody. That company is strictly philanthropy. That company is strictly out there to help mankind. That's why it hasn't even started yet. Go to the website, ttopp.org. Come here, boy. Meow. Come here. Sorry, a cat. Ladies and gentlemen, TTOPP does exactly what it says it does. It's only there to assist with the people. You go to the website, and that's exactly what the website says. It is there to assist the people. It is not there to do anything else. It's not there to make a profit. It's not there to accumulate profit. It's not to accumulate land, to accumulate money. None of that. Come here. Sorry, this cat is cute, and so she came all the way to me. She heard me talking, or he heard me talking. I'm over here calling you a she. Come here. All right, he's sitting in my lap, calling him a she, and now calling him a her. Don't put them claws in my leg. I'm scratching it, and so it's got that little purring thing going on, and so we got this relationship, y'all. I scratch it and it purrs, and so I get behind the ears and all of that stuff where it knows it can't reach, and it be like, oh, that feels so good, and so I only do it for a minute because I don't have time to be just sitting up here scratching people's necks. You can let somebody else go and scratch and tickle your ear. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, with the Q-Pak, the thing that makes the Q-Pak so unique is all of the features that are included in the Q-Pak. The trust agreement, the contract, the DBA that's included in the agreement where you're announcing that you'll be using that name for this reason, the common law copyright, the common law arbitration, right to common law arbitration, as well as your right to private arbitration. You're letting them know that the arbitrator is the only person who can make a determination as to questions or debates over this contract. The courts have no jurisdiction. And to make sure their little stupid courts that do these little stupid agreements that they can only, sorry, putting the cat down, they can only sit back and watch. They have no jurisdiction over your matter. That only the arbitrator can determine what happens. Only the arbitrator can handle any dispute exclusively, just as the courts have said. A lot of research, like I said, it's been over a year that I've been researching this, from March to March, people, to make sure of it. Like I said, there's a lot of this stuff I ain't never done before. I ain't never did no trust before, but I guarantee you what I did was I went ahead and focused solely on that. I never did no arbitration before, but I guarantee you what I did was focus solely on that. And once I understood the foundation, that's all she wrote. So I incorporated all that stuff into this particular contract. Well, are you going to provide one free for everybody like you did the last contract? We're going to provide an updated contract, but remember, the SatPaks, the Q-Pak, I have to update that one. And I think with the Q-Pak, we're going to add an arbitration clause into the Q-Pak to protect that group. Okay? But the Q-Pak will, I mean, not the Q-Pak, I said the Q-Pak. The SatPak Plus, I apologize. This one right here. Let's do that one. The SatPak Plus will be using the new, the SatPak that we're going to create for them. It'll be a specific SatPak for the Q-Paks. I mean, the Q-Paks will have their own SatPaks, and the SatPak Plus, the Q-Pak will have its own Q-Pak, and the SatPak Plus will have its own SatPak contract affidavit. The Q-Pak will have a trust agreement associated with it. We don't know if we're going to include the trust agreement in the SatPak Plus. We haven't decided, but insured up to $25,000, funded with $7,500,000 in assets, pooled and backed. Time frame begins from the 15th of 2018 of November, and it ends, pay attention, 52 to 112 months after from the date of the initial application. Now, the reason why 52 to 112 months is because some people will come in at the last minute and want to get the full benefits, and where the SatPaks are not designed that way. But ladies and gentlemen, the Q-Pak and all of that is explained all throughout this. A lot of wording, a lot of updates. We're constantly updating the site, constantly updating the information. We cannot call every single person every single time saying this is what we've done next, this is what we've done next, this is what we've done next. We had a 3.5 month shutdown by the government. Everybody says, well, no, they weren't shut down that long. They were only shut down blah, blah, blah. No, ladies and gentlemen, you don't get it. They were going in almost the 30th day, but what you don't get is that they were already starting to shut down. They were already starting to decrease their services before they had their government shutdown, because it was anticipated that they were going to have a government shutdown. So when they finally opened back up in January, oh no, they didn't get officially open for several weeks after that, because the staff had to come back in, and now they had to take care of all that junk that was piling up. Okay, so they didn't start getting to our stuff until the end of February. But we got people who are complaining with us about that. And they're not taking into consideration we had things like a so-called government shutdown. But that's okay, because all the other companies are having a lot of people upset with them because of the government shutdown, because they were affected. Most of our services come through the so-called federal government, people. That's whom we're dealing with. So if they are slowed down or if they are stopped, so are we. But then you also forget about the fact that we've had several holidays since all of that has started. So there's just so much that has been interfering. But we are now starting to move forward. So this should stand as an update. Now remember, I don't work for SATCOM. I am just a consultant. I am the founder. I am the one who created the idea known as SATCOM. Now reality. But they have their own board. They have their own CEO. It's not me. It's not anybody I control. Matter of fact, he and I disagree often on things. But we still together. Okay. And the unique part about it is, in that organization, people are allowed to voice their opinions, voice their disagreement, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, if I can explain to you about this right here, the price. Some were suggesting 700, others suggested higher, others suggested a lot lower, and so we settled in the middle because we didn't want people not to appreciate the value. We also didn't want to make it to where everybody would avoid it. In other words, that they would sit up here and shop it around to their friends. You see, because we know that's what people are going to do. So let me tell you the one thing you are not going to be able to do. We have an arbitration agreement in this particular document and a trust agreement that the arbitrator, once the other party defaults, the arbitrator will go over the document to see if it meets the requirements of a contract, meets the requirements of a trust agreement. And once they determine that, then they'll determine whether or not the parties have been served. And if the other party has been served, then they'll determine, are they in default, and give them an opportunity to prove that they're not in default, which they'll have to prove by a preponderance of evidence to the contrary that they're not in default. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and show this to you. Let's see, we got to go back. This is where I need to be, documents. Some people have been asking, and so, this ain't the documents page, y'all. This ain't the documents page either. Look at all that right there. That ain't right. Come on now, shape up. And if you guys are seeing the site like that too, then you'll just have to refresh, because that ain't the site. It's got a whole lot of things to it, but my internet is kind of slow right now because where I is, I'm too far away from the router. Ladies and gentlemen, you see these arbitration files and all of that? I want you to just click on this one for now. Okay, that's going to take you here. And I want you to click on these contract things. See, contracts. Just click on it. Just click, 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 click. And it'll take you here. And you know, it's going to say sample assignment. That's for you guys who are going to be doing that assignment, and equitable and statutory rights, and sample notice of fault. Now, there are two sample notices of fault here. Okay, we just going to open this one up because we need to. You'll notice that they're very, very similar because I put the both of them up here, but one of them is the new one, the other one is the old one. So we're gonna open up both of them. But a lot of people were asking, where the sample notice of fault? I don't see it. This thing has been up here since, what day is that? 3/9. But the one that was put up there today is one, I think I corrected the title and I may have added a little bit more to it, cleared it up. Okay, but it says I'm sorry, the cat just got on the bed and I'm about to, you don't be on the bed, because I don't know about you and fleas, and I'm not saying it's a flea-ridden cat, but it's a cat that goes outside and inside. So for the most part, let's see. Yeah, they're both the same. Yeah, see, one of them says, the one that says opportunity to care, and this one says opportunity to cure. The one that says opportunity to cure is the latest one. Okay, so that's what you're gonna, let's go there and let's enlarge it. So this is the latest one, and so opportunity to see, it even says it right here. So y'all are gonna have to change this to a U, and that's why it says notice of fault opportunity to cure, because I copied it from here. So you're gonna have to change. But why can't you put up the right one? All right, I'll put up the right one. As a matter of fact, tell you what, I'm gonna put up the right one, and then what I'm gonna do is, since I put up the right one, I'm gonna get rid of this one. Let's do that, And let's do that and that. Okay, so I said get out of here. Alright, I want you all to pay attention to what I'm about to do. So you all know, because I done told y'all that it's gonna get done, and if I don't do it now, it'll never get done. Need to show how deep is your love. Alright, let's go here. The cat's leaving, y'all. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go here. Oh, this is the back end, everybody. We're gonna go to contracts, and then we're gonna go upload. We belong to you and me. And this one shows that it was done. I don't need that one. I need the, let's go here. Nope, not there. We're gonna go here. See, now I don't know which one I did. What's wrong with y'all? I need to see which one is which, so I gotta open this one back up. See, this is opportunity to care number 1, and I believe this is the one that I just corrected, and it's still pulled up again. Okay, November 20th, 2018. Let's do this. We'll make it 31st. No, November doesn't have 31 days, so 30th. Alright, so even though it's we're just doing a simple document, now I'm going to do that right there, because this is opportunity to care. That's what I'm looking for. It's that one right there. That means I have 2 documents, opportunity to care, on here, so that's why it said that. So that's the latest one. Now watch. Uh-oh. It downloaded it again, so now I got 3 documents that says opportunity to care. Let's do that again. Copy. Block. It's not letting me do it, so I'm gonna have to hang up with you guys so I can do it right. So I can get on, so it won't keep downloading to my computer, because I don't need 100 copies of the same files. You guys do, but not me. And so I'm going to tell all of y'all to have a good day. This video was only designed to help you guys understand a little bit more about the SatPaks and what they're designed to do. The original SatPaks were only designed to be created as security, so that they could be backed, so that they would bring you some funds. Basically, as we said from the very beginning, it's basically like putting your funds in a savings program at a bank. And when you put it there, after a certain period of time, you can pull money out. Well, with us, with the way this is, that's not working. Anyway, with the way the SatPak works is, what you do is you order the product and we secure it for you, and then we return. We're not investing it in anything. We're not taking the funds and trying to make a killing, and no, we're trying to say to you is we're going to assist you in getting control of your securities. So while you had that taken care of, we provided the information necessary for you to file and get your securities taken care of. So now, let's see if it lets me upload it. There it go. Alright, now I gotta go back here just so that you guys will know that there won't be 2. See, this is this one right here. So we're gonna take care of this one and this one. Okay, we're gonna delete. And I can permanently delete both of them, because we don't need both. Now, what I'm a little bit upset, y'all, because there's a person who wrote SATCOM and said they couldn't find it, which is what I took out the time today to do, is to put that up here for you guys, because the individual said they couldn't find it, only to find out that it was here the whole time. This is what I have to deal with. And I have a lot more to do on a day-to-day basis. So what I'm gonna do is, watch this, we're gonna rename. I'm gonna get rid of that 01 thing. Okay, and it says opportunity to care. Okay, now the document says opportunity to cure. Okay, so there you go. Have a Coke and a smile. We will talk the next time. Goodbye, everyone.